Okay, so we all know we need to drink water, right? I mean, that's pretty much Health 101. But what if I told you that the number one signal our body sends us, feeling thirsty, is actually a late warning? Yeah. Today we're going to look at what you really need to watch for when it comes to dehydration. So let me ask you a simple question. When should you drink water? The easy answer, the one we all think of, is when you're thirsty, of course. It just feels so intuitive. But here's the kicker. By the time your brain actually sends that I'm thirsty signal, you're already playing catch up. And check this out. This quote from the Mayo Clinic absolutely nails it. Thirst isn't some kind of early warning system. Nope, it's a lagging indicator. That means your body is already losing precious fluid before you even think about grabbing a glass of water. And this is a really big deal, especially for older folks, because their sense of thirst can get a lot less reliable as they age. All right, so if we can't always trust our thirst, what can we trust? Well, lucky for us, our bodies have other more universal warning signs. And these signs can pop up long before our mouths even start to feel dry. Okay, so yeah, extreme thirst is on the list. That's a given. But it's the other signs that are kind of sneaky. You know that mid-afternoon slump you always blame on your lunch? That could actually be dehydration. Or what about feeling dizzy or a little lightheaded when you stand up too fast? Yep, that's a classic. And a dehydration headache? It's not just any old headache. It's usually this dull, throbbing pain that gets way worse when you move your head. Oh, and muscle cramps? That's basically your body screaming that it's running low on water and essential minerals. Now, this is probably one of the easiest ways to check in with your body during the day. Seriously, just think of it as your own personal built-in hydration meter. The goal? A pale, clear, kind of lemonade-like yellow. If you start seeing dark yellow, or even worse, amber or brown, well, that's a huge red flag. It's your body telling you it's trying to conserve every last drop of water, and it is definitely time to rehydrate. Okay, let's switch gears a bit, because this whole thing becomes even more critical when we're talking about the most vulnerable among us, infants and young children. They are at a much, much higher risk for dehydration. Why? Well, their tiny bodies just have less fluid to spare, and something as simple as a stomach bug can deplete their reserves dangerously fast. And think about it. For babies and toddlers, it all comes down to observation. They can't just come up and tell us, hey, I'm thirsty. And they certainly can't get a drink for themselves. So that puts all the responsibility on parents and caregivers to basically become detectives and learn how to spot those physical clues. So what are we looking for? Well, in the early stages, you might notice a dry mouth or lips, and here's a really telling one. Crying, but with no tears. A drop in the number of wet diapers is another huge one. If you're seeing fewer than 6 in a day, that's a warning bell. But if things get worse, the signs become way more alarming. We're talking sunken eyes, skin that feels cool or looks splotchy, and for an infant, a sunken soft spot on their head. That soft spot, the fontanelle, dipping inward is a very clear signal of severe dehydration, and it means you need to get medical help immediately. Now, there's another high-risk group that faces what's often called a silent threat, and that's older adults. For seniors, dehydration can be so sneaky because that one signal we all rely on, feeling thirsty, just isn't as reliable anymore. So why does the risk go up so much with age? Well, a few things are happening. First, our bodies just naturally hold less water as we get older. Second, our kidneys aren't quite as good at conserving it. Now you combine that with a weaker thirst signal, and what you get is a perfect storm. It creates a situation where an older person might not even feel thirsty until they're already in pretty deep with dehydration. And listen, this is one of the most misunderstood parts about dehydration in seniors. A lot of times, the first and most dramatic sign isn't physical at all, it's mental. A sudden change like brand new confusion or disorientation, that should never ever be just brushed off as, oh, it's just old age. It could absolutely be a primary symptom of a very serious fluid imbalance. Okay, so we've talked about kids and older adults, but some symptoms are a flat-out red alert no matter how old you are. These are the signs of severe dehydration that mean it's a real medical emergency. And honestly, knowing what these are could literally be life-saving. First up, a rapid heartbeat and rapid breathing. Think of these as your body's blaring alarm bells. When you're severely dehydrated, your blood volume actually drops, so your heart has to go into overdrive, beating way faster just to pump blood to your vital organs. This can lead to a dangerous drop in blood pressure and even put the body into shock. Next, that change in mental state we talked about, this is a huge one. And we're not just talking about feeling a little foggy. No, this is a major, major shift.
Think sudden, deep confusion, delirium, or just extreme irritability. It's a sign that the brain itself is really struggling from the lack of fluid and those crucial minerals.
Another really serious one, going a whole day with little or no urination. This is a massive warning sign. It means the kidneys have slammed on the brakes and gone into full-on conservation mode. They're desperately trying to hold on to every last drop of fluid to protect the body's core functions. And that tells you that the organ systems are really under a lot of strain.
And finally, we get to the most dangerous signs of all: seizures, or losing consciousness. This can happen when the body's electrolyte balance gets so thrown off that the electrical signals in the brain and nerves just start to misfire. This is a truly life-threatening stage, and it can lead to a condition called hypovolemic shock. So, what do? What's the plan? Well, the guidelines are actually pretty clear. It's time to call your family doctor if a loved one has had diarrhea for more than a day, or if they seem way more irritable or sleepy than usual, or if they just can't keep any fluids down. But if you see any of those red alert signs we just went over, the confusion, the rapid pulse, seizures, loss of consciousness, that is a medical emergency. Don't hesitate. Call 911 or get to an ER right away. So let's wrap our heads around this. Dehydration isn't just about being a little low on water. It's a state where your body has lost so much fluid that its normal functions start to break down. And that's because you're not just losing water, you're also losing critical electrolytes. Minerals like sodium and potassium that are absolutely vital for pretty much everything, from your muscles moving to your heart beating.
Which really leaves us with one final big question. We've seen that thirst is just one small piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. So the real question is, are you listening to all the other signals your body is sending you? Paying attention to your energy levels, your mental clarity, even the color of your urine. That's the real key to staying ahead of the game and keeping your body running exactly like it should.